Guidolin. It's fresh.
Mm.
Not that I don't think he didn't deserve to get fired, but not that I didn't mind. I don't mind him getting fired. I understand that's just the way it is. It's just it's still it's early days. I haven't moved past it yet. The way it was handled.
Hey, Saturday, 10:45. You'll be delighted after Bradley masterminds
A 1-0 victory.
A dirty 1-0 or a back to the wall 0-0. They've had 35 shots on target, and you've had none, and then it's 0-0, and it's Bradley just like that. Yes, punch in the air.
Yeah,
come on. It's very American, isn't it?
Slamming a PBR. Do they have PBRs in the UK?
No. Well, they do in some of the London hipster restaurants now, I've heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's not as fun anymore. It'd be better if it was like we're only selling to Wales and Yorkshire.
They wouldn't let that happen in Yorkshire. I don't know about Wales, but Yorkshire, they go, what's that?
Oh, it's not bitter enough for them.
Yeah. Where's that made? Milwaukee. Is that near Leeds? Well, if near is within 3,500 miles, then yes. If it's closer than that, then no. They wouldn't have you get punched in the face for that. I hope.
To play Holland, you have to play the Dutch. Ruud Gullit. Remember that, Dave. Okay, so what do you think?
I'm trying to work out what that means.
What match is happening this week besides Swansea Arsenal is
several.
Aberdeen are playing
Ross County. Home win. Don't worry about it.
Well, let's talk about it. What do you think?
There's not much to talk about. We should.
Ross County was a team that gave Aberdeen all sorts of trouble last season.
This is true, but we're in a bit of form now. We're cliches. Yeah, I don't really see any way how we don't win that. I mean, if we don't win that, there's going to be some sort of...
Ross County is one of those teams that they're just not fun to play against.
They're dogged and they just sit in and they're kind of rough and ready.
It's like playing Burnley.
Yeah, it's like playing Burnley, except in Scotland, Ross County are like a mid-table team. So, yeah.
Well, so are Burnley.
Apparently, for now. But no, I mean the way that our front three played against Kilmarnock the week that was the first time they were all kind of on form. Apart from Rooney, just forgot how to finish, which is really weird. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't happen too often. So we'll win that. I would say handsomely. Okay. Well, certainly be an improvement on last time we played them at home when we lost 4-0. But we were on the beach already, so doesn't matter. Yeah, well, I think we'll win. We'll
okay, all right.
What match were you thinking of, though?
Manchester United, Liverpool.
Oh, it's on Monday, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Not a bad. Let's pull up the Premier League schedule. See if there's any other dandies.
Man City are playing Everton. It's not.
That's a good one.
Not shabby.
What do you think? Koeman's got cooked up for that one?
Well, I don't know because we had a little chat about how to beat Man City after we watched Spurs do it, so it was easier.
Just run. Yeah. You have to be the most fit team ever, basically.
But you have to, yeah, exactly. But
that's why Atletico Madrid, gives teams like that in Spain problems, is because
they don't stop.
They don't stop moving. Yeah.
But you have to press from the front, and I look at Everton's front four. I guess it'll probably be Lukaku, Barkley.
Yeah, it's a bit lazy.
Morales. I can't see them. Yeah, keeping it up for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think Man City.
Chelsea, Leicester City as well. That could be a stomper.
Oh, another. Well, Leicester have they got any points away in the Premier League this season?
Leicester have been really bad. Really, I mean, away from home, they've just not been good.
Didn't we say last year after they won the league, just as
they're going to get relegated?
Champions League and relegation. They're going for it.
They'll go to the Champions League final and get relegated.
I'd take that.
It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, it'd be quite.
Back and win the Champions League.
Defending it.
And then defending the Champions League from the Championship, where they play 1,000,000 games.
Yeah, away at Burton Albion and then at home to Barcelona. That'd be great.
It's kind of like what Celtic do. Anyway.
You piece of garbage. But agreed, yeah, absolutely. I had a little bit of chat about that, actually.
Okay.
I don't know why...
They looked really good against Man City. We talked about it last week, but anyway.
Not about Celtic. I don't care about them.
Oh, okay.
But today, for some reason, I read several articles on kind of intra-nation league. I don't know what you would call it. Sort of like kind of.
I thought you were going to say intra-not for a second.
No, that's for later. But there's been a lot of talk of kind of regional super leagues, with super being used very loosely. Mm-hmm. So I read an article from Football Grads about the potential.
They always have fantastic ideas.
They do
about football. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I think this idea. Well, I mean, he even said in the article it's not going to happen. But I mean, there was talk of some sort of Super League, maybe the former Soviet Union, so Russian teams, Ukrainian, etc., etc. But obviously, they can't do it because Russia is either at war or hated by all the other countries.
Everybody else, yeah.
And then there's the reviving talk of what they called the Atlantic League, and that was being talked about even in the late 90s when I was a little teenage fella.
So like Portugal, Spain, France. Oh
no, no, this is a really shitty Atlantic League.
Oh,
so like Scotland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, like that kind of Atlantic League.
Well, that could be kind of fun though.
When
you think about it, and it wouldn't be that bad because the travel times between each country is really short. It's just really short.
A couple hours tops.
Norway to Ireland, for instance, is only an hour and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I would say probably Sweden to Scotland would be about the longest distance.
Yeah.
It's only a couple hours.
Yeah.
But we were talking about that because I think it's 2018, the new Champions League thing's coming in with the 4 teams from England, Germany, Spain, Italy.
Yeah.
So that's half the Champions League sewn up. Plus, if one of those guys wins the Europa League, then you've got 51 countries fighting out for 15 spots.
Right.
So, and they're trying to look at different ways to generate revenue and stuff like that, or at least compete, because they're not going to get in there anymore.
It would be really fun if one of those
Yugoslavian
teams or Ukrainian teams, like Dnipro won the Europa League.
Well, they almost did 2 years ago.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I remember that game. They destroyed Everton at Everton. It was at Goodison Park, and they absolutely just
romped it.
Yeah, but anyway, I agree with. It's an interesting point.
Well, it's kind of funny. I mean, the Champions League is so weird now. I mean, the only way it can really be sustainable, I guess, is to kind of sort of rebuild local rivalries. I mean, I think it would be successful in the former Yugoslavia. I'd watch Red Star against Dinamo Zagreb.
It's a shame that they can't, for obvious reasons, they can't. I mean, there's been talk about this too, and it's even mentioned in the book Behind the Curtain, where it would be kind of fun to have a Yugoslavian league again. But there's no way that would ever happen, and at least not in the foreseeable future, just because of all the tension. But it would be if you had Red Star against
Dinamo
Zagreb, or Red Star, or
Hajduk Split
against Split, or Rijeka against Partizan. Like those would be fun games and be really competitive games. And that league would be, I think people would actually may want to play in that league.
Well, yeah, you get more fans in.
Yeah.
Well, so isn't it Slaven Bilic says in
that? That's and I mentioned that excerpt, but it's an interesting point.
I think it's more likely now than it was before they announced this Champions League thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because I kind of feel like I should be more... I should be more unhappy about the prospect of domestic leagues breaking up. But if that's what's going to happen with the Champions League, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch Bayern Munich against Real Madrid forever.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
No.
I want to watch...
The fun is when you get those teams... Like last year, who was it? It was a Belgian team.
What, Genk?
Yeah, Genk was in there, and they had made it to the last 16.
They qualified, yeah.
No, they were in the last 16.
Yeah, they knocked out Valencia and someone else.
And that was fun.
It was fun.
You're watching them play. I can't remember who they played, but it was...
Oh, did they get horsed by Chelsea?
No, it was Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg.
Right. They didn't get horsed by him either. They actually played...
Well, they did the first leg, and then the second leg was competitive, right?
The second leg, because it was at Ghent, so it was...
Well, Ghent, that's right. No, Genk. There's Genk and Ghent.
Yeah, it was Ghent.
Nice.
It's AAK Ghent.
Nice.
Is their name. But they have the native... It's weird, they have a Native American as their symbol.
A lot of Native Americans in Belgium, I've heard.
The chieftain head is what they have as their symbol. But yes, and it was a competitive game, and Wolfsburg is obviously one of the bigger clubs in Germany. They're not doing so hot this year, but typically they have a good squad.
They're in and around the European places,
and they should be much better than Ghent. But Ghent, it lends itself to, it's like the NCAA tournament in America. You might get, for instance, who would be the Ghent of the NCAA tournament?
There's no one either co-hosting or listening.
I know. I'll just Ghent would be the equivalent of the University of Utah, I'll say. And
quite a bad one.
And they're going up against Duke.
Okay.
Duke is...
a good one.
A good one. Duke is like Manchester United. And maybe Utah beats Duke 1 out of 1,000 times, but it might be during that tournament where they beat them.
Yeah.
And they move forward. Like, that's a lot of fun when that happens.
Yeah.
It may not happen, but it's fun if it happens. So why would you take that chance of that team having that opportunity away from them? They're still... the money that brings to that club, the exposure that brings to that club, it's not... You're turning it into an elitist society where it's just not fun to be around. And you're going to all your game is going to be surrounded by just douchebags, basically, after that. I don't know.
What it is, it's like FIFA culture, like the video game.
Right.
I know we play it.
Yeah. But we pick leads to play.
And only buy people that are only 14 years old.
We did do the takeover so that we could buy some better players, but...
Well, you need Angel Correa. And he still won't get promoted. God damn it. But no, yeah, it's no fun. And it is kind of FIFA culture. It's like ultimate team culture. It's like, I just want to have all the best players. There's no romance.
Other than, in 2014 when they won the Champions League, but Real Madrid have proved that it doesn't always work like that. You can't just get the best players and get them to do... go play. It doesn't work like that. Because you're going to run up a team against Atletico Madrid, who, although they lost in that game in the Champions League final, they give... Who on their team is a real star? Griezmann, maybe? It's probably just Griezmann right now, right?
I'm thinking, unless you count Diego Godin, but obviously he's not a star. Cocaine.
He looks ghostly as well. Diego Godin and Juan Fran both look like they're skeletons.
That's why they're so good.
Maybe Saul is an up-and-coming star for them.
Yeah.
Yannick Carrasco, but they're kind of middling. They're very good footballers, but they're not like the big stars that you see in the Premier League or anywhere else. And what do they control games, and they do it because they play as a team, and they're able to perform well because of that against those sides who just have a collection of people, a collection of stars. It doesn't. I don't know. I would rather see... That's why, for me, it's so enjoyable. I love watching Atletico Madrid, even though they're a bigger club. I love watching them play because they don't play like a big club plays. Yeah. They play with...
Small club mentality,
yes,
almost.
Exactly.
But better, because they've got a bit more money, so...
And they have some better players, yeah. But, you know what I mean. I enjoy that much more than just... Let's throw everybody out there and... Everybody that just give them a load of money and just throw 11 guys on the pitch and they'll probably win. It's just not. It's not interesting.
No, it's not. And I think it's going to be. I think it's unsustainable. I don't think that.
Right.
I mean, you think that the Champions League money is going to keep going up exponentially, but I don't think it can because. I mean, look at the viewing figures are going down, and it's not. I mean, no one wants to watch the group stages even. So even that, and it's going to get to the point so you're not going to want to watch.
It was so much better. Like I was preparing for Dave Zasberger's Corner, which we'll get to in a second here. Woo! And I was looking at the earlier like the late '80s and early '90s, and you would only get one team. Yeah, but you'd only get one team from each league.
Yeah, unless somebody won it the year before.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
so you get like Liverpool, Nottingham Forest.
It's so much more interesting. But back then, it was much different back then, obviously, because you could get teams like Nottingham Forest, you could get teams like, from the Ukraine.
You have to give Dave Asperger's Corner a miss. Look at the time on that.
Anyway, that you get how we feel about that anyway.
Well, I certainly agree. I don't see what the big deal is about watching. To go, you want the big teams to get through, do you? I'd quite happily watch. Always go Red Star. They're always my random pick. I'll watch Red Star against Club Brugge in a Champions League quarterfinal.
Absolutely,
no problem. It's still the quarterfinal. It doesn't matter who's in it.
Exactly.
Anyway,
let me pull up Dave Zasberger's Corner here.
We're going to do it. We're going to break the hour mark, Brian.
Who cares? We've had. I don't. Maybe. I mean, we could be wrong, and you guys can rate and review and comment on the Vital Swansea forum for this podcast if this sucks, but. We've enjoyed ourselves, so that's all we care about.
I always enjoy myself.
We are going to go to the year